You are live, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, James. Good afternoon again, everyone. It is April 7th, and this is the Newington Building Committee for the Anna Reynolds School project. Again, April 7th, it is 5:15. Jeff, could you do the roll call, please? Jeff, you're muted. And in witness protection.
Hello.
Yep, go ahead, Jeff. You're live. Well, you're
Hello.
live. Yep. Can you hear me, Jeff?
I think he's got his speaker off again. Let me call his office.
Okay.
Going up to fix him. We'll have him in a second.
Okay. Oh, Carol is on with us now.
How about now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Carol. Jeff, was that you? All right, I'm going to do the roll call while I try to figure out how to get them going. When I call your name, just signify by saying hi. Amy Parati,
Here.
Jeremy Wetzel,
Here.
Kim Rada,
Here.
Danielle Rod,
Hi.
Carol Dugan,
Here.
and Mike. I saw you here, but now I don't see you. Are you here? Mike Camillo? He was on a minute ago. Okay, well, maybe he'll come back. And Steve Woods, which is me, and I am here, so we have a quorum. Now we're gonna, well, actually, we have no public either right now, I believe, so. We'll, when they get back on. We can take action on prior meeting minutes. Give them another minute or so, see if they can figure Jeff out.
The minutes that you're taking action on are the March 17th minutes.
Thank you, Jeff. So would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes as written for the
Move
meeting
it.
of 3/17/22?
So moved.
Okay, Amy, thank you. And a second?
Second.
Seconded by Kim. Any discussions or comments? If not, signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Jeff, make sure the record shows that Mike Camillo is with us now. I know he was on and we lost him. Now he's back.
All right, so it's 7-0. Okay,
Okay, no, yeah, 7-0. You're right, because Carol's now on. So it was unanimous. Take action on invoices, Jeff?
yeah, you had 4 invoices were distributed for the committee's consideration totaling $39,060.04. They are for Construction Solutions Group, $19,928.30. For Innovative Engineering Services, $2,235.50. For Castle Booz Associates, $8,346.24. And for Versteeg Associates, $8,550 even, total $39,060.04.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve those invoices.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
By
Second.
Kim and seconded by Mike. Any discussion or comment? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We're going to skip down and do the construction manager's update first. We did have the bid openings today. Actually, we just completed them. I got back into my my office like literally 3 or 4 minutes ago. I will share with you that we are a little bit over budget right now. And I'll let Tom take over and kind of walk through it. They haven't evaluated all the bids, so there's some work to do. But it wasn't as favorable as we thought. Tom, do you want to jump in here?
Sure. Thanks, Steve. So as Steve said, we just got done with the opening. We received just somewhere around 80 bids. So we had some good coverage. Steve, if you can let me share the screen, I can show the bid tabulation.
Yeah, I think you should be able to.
It says.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. There you go. Okay, do sharing.
All right. Can everybody see that?
I believe yes, Tom, I can see it.
Okay. So this is our bid tab. Today we bid 21 packages. There's 2 more to be bid because of some late changes. Those had to be delayed until next week. On the 13th, we're taking those bids in. So starting with final cleaning, let me just explain a little bit about the form. So we list the bidders, and in the gray shaded area, that's our estimate value. And then the 4th column is the variance from the estimate. So if it's in parentheses, that means it came in under the estimated value. So the first package came in at 50,000, which was 12,000 under our estimate for final cleaning. And we ended up with, at the end of the day, we ended up with 9 alternates. Like Steve said, we haven't had a chance to evaluate any of the bids or the numbers. We also had some mostly on the mechanical side, some combination bids. We haven't evaluated those to see if they beat out the individual bids. And right now we're about, on the trade cost, we're about 6% over the budgeted trade cost. So, some packages we had better participation than others. We're, pretty much pleased with the bidders and the participation. And you can see we had a lot of site bids. We had a lot of masonry bids. General trades, 4 bids. This is actually the other thing I want to say. This is sorted by low to high. So Scope Construction is the low bidder for general trades, and they were like $200,000, $207,000 over the estimate. So what we're going to be doing in the next week or two, until we meet again, we're going to be scoping out the bidders, finding out, what's driving some of these numbers. Some of these, like this is a huge overage on the roofing. So we need to understand what that's all about. And there's a possibility we might have to rebid some of these packages. But as you can see, we had plenty of, most of the packages had plenty of bidders. So when we get this tabulated, it'll be distributed when we get the, clean it up and get the final numbers. So here's the overage here. We're at 1.85 million over on the trade costs. The estimated value was 28,005, and right now we're at 29,858. And what we did was we plugged in our numbers, our estimated numbers for the two packages that are coming in next week, which is electrical and telecommunications, these two.
Okay, Tom. Any questions? Again, this is a pretty fluid situation we're in right now. They literally have to evaluate these. I believe what's going to happen is, and we'll hear from Castle Booze shortly, but between Castle Booze, Marty from CGS, and Tom and Brian from Newfield, they'll more than likely, I'm assuming it'll take 2 weeks, and chime in here, guys, if you want, but I'm assuming it's going to take 2 weeks to evaluate these and also come up with maybe the packages that we're going to have to be rebid, and also maybe some value engineering here. I think I would, my guess right now that the grandiose courtyard that we had, it's probably not going to be what it was designed as, which I thought was a stretch to begin with. But again, we would have probably looked harder at these, but going into this, we thought we were on budget. I think we were all surprised when these numbers came in, specifically like the roof. We don't know why the roof is almost $750,000 over what the estimate is, because remember, not only did we have Newfield's estimate through this process, Castle Booze does one too, and they reconcile the two of them, and we were only off, I think it was like $40,000 or $50,000, Tom, wasn't it, something like that?
Yeah, we were
pretty close,
within 1.5% of the PMC's estimate.
So the two biggest numbers, and the ones that we're going to have to look hard at, is the site package and that roofing package, to see if there's something that maybe we just missed, and it is what it is, or maybe they're seeing something or misunderstood what we are looking for. But with that, I'll open it up to any of the committee members if you want to ask Tom or any one of the group here a question. Yes, Danielle.
So my question, I guess, is, so if we're over budget, obviously we go to the whatever they're called. The ones where we take
Alternates.
They're deduct alternates, yeah.
deduct alternates, but is that going to cover that? And if not, do we need to go back to the town? Like, what does the charter say as far as that? That's a pretty big number.
Yeah, so there is, we do go back to the town and get permission to move forward, but we can't do that until we are on budget. So we will not make any presentation to the town and ask them to take action until we can either get on budget, or we go back to them and say, we can't do it for the budget, and what do you want us to do at that point? I don't see it getting to that right now, but we've got our work cut out for us in the next couple of weeks on working towards that goal. Danielle. So the town made it clear up front that they were going to spend the $35.5 million. And that's what it is. We get our portion, and for the town taxpayers to pay. I mean, it's been crystal clear all along, and we need to live within those dollars. So we need to either make the project work, that it works for the Board of Education and the community, or we have to go back and tell the town council that we can't. Those are the only two choices. I hope the first one is that the one we make in the end, that we can make it work and stay within the budget. Did you have anything else, Danielle?
Nope, you answered my question. Thank you.
Okay, Mike?
Hey, guys. Hey, on the roofing, I know they're having a hard time getting materials. I know from the high school's getting done now, and they can guarantee they can get the materials, but other companies can't. And maybe that's why they're looking towards the future, that they've got to buy it while they can. And I know the company that came in almost to the bottom here, Silktown, is the one doing the high school, and they're doing a good job. Can we get copies of all this before you go back to it? Tom?
When you say, when do you mean go back to it?
Well, everything you're showing us here, can we get those copies now?
Yeah, I can email this document out. Yep.
Okay, good. That way we know, have something.
Steve, if I
go back
email
and
it to
forth.
you, is that
Yeah,
good? You can distribute
Email
it?
it to, email it to me, Tom, and I'll distribute it.
Okay.
Could I
But
ask
just-
Brian to get me one anyways? I got to get one to the town manager.
Yeah, I just asked that, some of this information be kept.
It won't be shared,
confidential.
but I'd like to
I don't
have it.
want this out in the public yet. I mean,
Right,
it's-
I'd like to have it to go by afterwards, where we were, where we are now. That's all. It
Yeah,
stays right
that's-
with me.
That's fair, Mike. We'll get it to you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Jeremy.
Unmute myself here. Yeah, so I'm looking, if I'm looking at this correctly, certain contractors are gonna make, these alternates are ways to cut costs, and we have, what do we have, 9 of them at this point?
Yes,
Yes.
All right, so I'm looking at that courtyard back, if you could go back to the other page. Some of
With the
them were
site?
doing the reduced, only a couple were gonna reduce the courtyard scope here. I mean, that's one. Why is this contractor gonna do 1.6 off the reduced courtyard scope, and then, as opposed to the other one doing $6,100?
well, that's a very good question, but sometimes you get this with deduct alternates. They don't give you back the fair value. So that's another thing we have to vet out. We put this actual alternate in at the last minute because we wanted to make sure we had some base thing to go by. So what this alternate is it takes most of the work out of the courtyard. So the courtyard would look like it does today when we leave the job. You wouldn't have any of the hardscapes or the playscape or the synthetic turf. You wouldn't have any of that. It would just be the pavement and seeded lawn in the playscape, less the trees. The trees would be gone.
Okay, so it's not impossible that we can get that number down from 1.8. It would seem that there's definitely options here.
We definitely have options,
Yes.
Jeremy. But, and again, I guess ideally, it would have been nice that these opened up and we'd be under. We still wouldn't have information for you. We wouldn't have exact numbers. But now, obviously there's more work involved. We need to look at and evaluate the bids. Again, knowing most of these contractors, the bidders that have the low numbers here, I'm sure are going to take the job for the number that they put in. But there might be some packages that we just have to change and put back out to get rebid, because you can't really negotiate, right? It's the bid's the bid. You can't negotiate after the fact. But we do have the ability to put any of the bids back out again.
So as
Right.
far as the 9 options go, excuse me, it's the 9 options here, along with this data that we're looking at here, are we going to get various scenarios back from, would that be Newfield doing that, giving us different scenarios with the alternates to get us down to cost?
Yes, it would be the team.
Yes.
So it would be a combination of Castle Booze working with Newfield and with Marty Construction Group Services, right? Those 3 will make recommendations to us the next time that we meet to what we need to do to get to the number that we need to get to.
Thank
Okay.
you all.
Okay. Yes, Amy.
Thanks. Are there any contractors that bid on multiple packages? And if so, do they ever, like if we award them the bids for multiple, do they ever give like a package discount?
Yes, so there are several of those right now. And the Newfield projected that certain contractors are going to bid certain packages together. They did do that, except they didn't bid the packages that they thought they were going to combine. So it's going to take them a couple days to evaluate all that to find out if there is a savings or not. But there's probably, Tom, 6 or 7 combined bids.
Yeah, we had at least that. Yeah.
It might have been even 8 or 9. So there could be some savings there. So we don't have hard numbers that we can say, like that, what you saw earlier, that 1,000,008, that's not a concrete number yet. That's a very raw number that, and it adds up right now with the figures that you have on the spreadsheet, but all the bids have not been evaluated yet.
Understood.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay. Tom, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to go back up to the architect's update. Jennifer, you with us? No, no, Jennifer, Paul. You're muted, Paul, I think. At least I'm not hearing you.
How's that? Better?
There you go. That's much better.
Thank you very much. So Jennifer's out today. She had some minor surgery. She'll be out for the next 2 weeks, actually.
We'll give her our best.
Yeah, thank you. So nothing to report. We've been part of this process up to date, and we'll work hard with Newfield and CSG over the next 2 weeks to analyze this fresh data. That's what we have for today.
Okay, all right. Any questions of Paul? Which he didn't really say much, so.
Yeah,
No.
and one other point, Steve,
Yeah.
if I can, Dave Becerra is with me today.
Yeah.
Dave is the KBA team. He's part of our construction administration department, and he will be the guy in the field once it starts going on to construction. So you'll get to know, the whole committee will get to know Dave over time, and he's in this transition period right now. So I just want to introduce him.
Okay, well, welcome aboard, Dave.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
I just only wish we had more smiles on our faces this afternoon. But we'll get there.
We'll work on it.
there.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no questions, Marnie, we'll go to you. Construction project manager's update.
Thanks, Steve. Yep, I'm actually
Do you want to?
Yeah, there's
waiting
still on
for
the-
Tom DeMar to mute his computer because we are
Okay.
actually still here at Town Hall. When Steve says the bid results are hot off the press, he's not kidding. We didn't even have time to leave here to get back to our own offices. So
He's still, you're still picking up feedback from one of the computers in there.
all right, I think we've got it covered now.
There you go. Yep, you're good.
So again, not to reiterate what everybody has already said, the team's got a lot of work to do, not just in evaluating the bids, but in looking for opportunities to cut some cost off of what we received today. Just, another reminder, we have 2 packages that we have not received bids for yet. So the electrical package and the telecommunications package were pushed back. I think it's to the 14th. But I'm not exactly sure. We wanted to tweak a couple things, specifically with the clock PA system to make sure it interfaced with the existing phone system that the school has now, because we're not replacing that system. And we also went over a couple things with Lou and the school and realized we had to make a couple changes to provide them what they're looking for. So nothing big, but we did want to give the consultants some time to react to that, as well as give the bidders some time to react to that. So just keep in mind when you do look over those bid results that Tom's going to send to Steve, who will send to you, that they're not complete. And I think, as one of the members pointed out, the alternates don't always make sense. And a lot of that Newfield will vet when they start meeting with the low bidders. So a lot of bidders misinterpret how the alternates are worded. You're going to see some alternates that say deduct, yet the contractor put an add number. So there are a lot of things to reconcile here, but the team will be busy looking for savings at the same time that Newfield will be reviewing the bids with the low bidders. So that being said, I did want everyone to know that we had our first move management meeting with Lou, with Maureen, with Jason, all of the town and school people involved in the project, to start talking about what needs to happen for Newfield to start construction this coming June. So I think we've got a good base plan about how to empty the classrooms of furniture to allow Newfield to do the abatement in the first phases, and as well move some stuff off-site for storage that we won't need until later phases are complete. So I wanted you to know that that's ongoing, as well as, again, finalizing that technology package. We have had, I think, maybe our 4th or 5th meeting regarding that package. I can say that it looks like our budget numbers are adequate for that part of the project. And the last step for us is to get the preferred manufacturers and model numbers of the new equipment from Craig in your IT department. So we make sure we are going to purchase what's desired. So that's moving forward. And at the same time, we're going to be working on these numbers. So that's about it. No real changes in the budget. Obviously, the budget is affected by the construction costs, but until we can vet them, there's no reason to plug them into our budget yet, until we know a real number. But any questions from anyone? Mike?
Before this went out to bid, you guys already started changing the numbers around and cutting certain things and possibly removing them from the project. And now you may have to do it again. When does the project go from rebuild is new to just fixing what's wrong? I mean, you've got to cut quite a bit, possibly.
Yeah, again, Mike, it's way too premature for me to agree or disagree with that. It's just, again, it's way too premature. We need to understand from the roofer why the number's so skewed. You know, we've got a lot of investigative work. I would imagine by the next meeting, we can give you a more detailed answer to your question.
And the soft cost furniture, and can we look somewhere else for that? Because I know through CREC, you pay a lot more than you would if you found it yourself, even though you're buying it through them. It may be cheaper somewhere else.
Well, we won't be buying furniture from CREC. We're required by state statute to either bid it publicly or purchase it off of the state bid list. So it ends up kind of being a combination thing, because the vendors on the state bid list, they don't really have unit prices. They have percentage savings. So for example, if you look at the bid list, it'll say they'll give you 25% off this manufacturer, that. And what ends up happening is when you put it out to bid, they are competing against each other, so they give you even more savings. But the technology and the FF&E is subject to the same bidding requirements that the state has for construction. We're not allowed to just go to somebody like CREC and purchase this. So all of it will be competitively bid.
Okay, and we'll be able to see that too?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Marty.
You're welcome.
Any other business pertinent to the committee? Jeff, do you have anything for us?
No, I don't. Your next meeting is in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then my question to the team is, I'm assuming that's enough time. You should be able to get prepared for us. Tom, Marnie, Jim, Paul, just shake heads, yes?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
we'll have
We're
much
just
more
reaching for our
information.
mute buttons.
Okay, all right. So we will then set it for, what was the date, Jeff? I didn't write it down.
That is the 21st of April.
21st, okay. Comments by members? Amy?
Yeah, just an update. I'm not sure if you've heard yet, but the Board of Ed did approve half days for Anna Reynolds for the last, that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of school. So the kids will be
Okay.
out half days.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
If you jumped over public participation, we actually do have
I did?
somebody on
Oh,
tonight.
I'm sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I did jump over it, and I've been crossing stuff out and I didn't see it. So we will go back to public participation And we have Dana Havens. You should be able to speak to us right now.
Oh, I was just watching. I didn't have my hand raised. I hadn't listened in a
Oh.
while and just popped in.
Oh, okay.
Carry on.
Okay, thank you. I'll go back to comments by member. How about the little one, Amy? Gee, have anything to say? Not yet. Oh, yeah, she's talking. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
And made by Amy and seconded by Mike. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everybody. See you in
Thank
2
you.
weeks.
Thank you. Good night.
Yep.
Good night.